Brought to you by IWCRadio.com. It's the internet's most irreverent wrestling podcast. Now, please welcome Beans, Smoot, Chucks, and Will. This is the IWC.
Hello everyone and welcome to IWC Radio. This is episode 123 and we are coming to you live on YouTube.com. I'm your host Martin Nolan and I'm being joined by Smoot, Will and Chucks. How's it going, guys?
Well, I have a new mic, but I can't use it because you guys can't hear the audio that comes from my computer with it.
Yeah, so there's a few technical hiccups again, which we're renowned for on this show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But, you know, these things happen. How's everyone else doing?
I'm good.
Is Chuck's alive?
Chuck,
I
yeah,
thought you were going with a sponsored silence a bit longer.
Well, then why did you ask me a direct question? That would always break my silence.
Because I was trying to think of a way that you might get out of answering.
Just by kind of dying over here.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Kalisto's used a few good techniques when people ask him a direct question.
He's doing that lucha thing.
Yeah. Woo! Oh, poor lad. So, yes, we've got a few things to run through on the news bits, and we're also going to run through some stuff from RAW and SmackDown. I don't think there's been any particular major news in the world of wrestling this week, which I suppose after the last month or so of drastic changes in WWE, I suppose some people might find that a little bit more welcoming. How's the week been in wrestling for everyone? Any particular highlights?
I don't know. I thought, I don't know. We're kind of like smooth sailing on the road to SummerSlam. So far.
The highlight for me was the announcement of Apollo Creed. In the three-way.
Yeah. Wow. Live TV, pal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There ain't going to be no rematch.
Okay then. So let's start off with some of the news from this week then. It has been announced that Ryback has left WWE. I guess his contract negotiations didn't go to plan. I think he's done a video on the internet where he's explained what's going on. As you can tell, I've been so interested in this that I've not listened to it. Is there any thoughts on this, guys? Do we care that Ryback's gone? Is there any particular things that we think could have been done differently?
He posted an Instagram saying that he wishes WWE all the best in their future endeavors, and then plugs his website feedmemore.com for I'm guessing what is clothing, apparel, and some other things as well. I think booking for like indie shows and such. So.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine the guy's going to do quite well on the indie scene.
Byrack could be heading to the Impact Zone. Taz.
Oh, God. Do you know when you just think that possibly I couldn't be any less interested in TNA? Really, I don't even know where to go with that because I don't want to be offensive to the guy, but I don't care. I really don't care.
I don't care.
I just think it's a bit of a shame because I mean, everyone always starts off quite well normally, unless you're the shining stars of the Caribbean. But you know, like he had a good start. He was crushing everyone. He was, taking out 3 jobbers in one match, and it was entertaining. And then all of a sudden, he was given a title match against Punk, and then it all kind of went wrong from there.
He should have won that match.
Well,
he should have won that. I still think that would have been the right call.
I don't know. they just kind of put themselves into a corner because it was Punk's title streak on the line against an undefeated guy, and they just kind of didn't do much with Ryback after that. And I always found it a bit of a strange one because I think the guy was quite articulate in some ways. He's a lot more articulate than a lot of the stereotypical big guys from the past. And I think if Ryback was around in the 80s, he probably would have been the next Hulk Hogan. But, yeah, I don't know. Something wasn't right for me. He always spoke like he was going to overtake John Cena and he was going to be the guy for WWE all the time. And I appreciate his confidence in that. And I suppose you have to have that certain mentality. But you just got this feeling that was never going to be the case. And it all just seems to have come to a head, and obviously it's not worked out. So, I don't know if anyone else has any thoughts on it.
I think his run kind of was dead in the water when he admitted that he was reading The Secret. I feel.
That's actually when I lost all respect for him. I agree.
Weirdly, his last match was it against God, who was it? Who was it? Someone tell me.
I was just going to say, well, I don't know.
It was Kalisto. It was one of his better matches.
Doing the lucha. It was on the pre-show. It was on one of those pre-shows where like Kalisto did like one of those like flip things.
He did a good lucha thing.
Yeah, he did a
and
good
Ryback
lucha
saved
thing
his
on
life.
the outside. But he did like a weird flip thing, and he would have bashed his head up against that LED board if it wasn't for Ryback catching him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I think it was Payback. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, wasn't that the one where he had on his like belt where it said the pre-show guy or something like that?
Pre-show stopper, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. The writing was on the wall, wasn't it? So, yeah, I don't know. We'll probably see him in Impact, and I'll never want to talk about him again, but there we go.
What are they going to call him when he gets the TNA?
I told you, Byrack.
Oh, Byrack.
Yeah.
I can see him calling him something stupid like Hacksaw.
Hacksaw? Like
yeah.
Jim Duggan?
Oh, yeah.
Just go by his
Buzzsaw.
proper name, I imagine.
Ryan
Oh, maybe
Ryan
they'll do
Back.
the Spider-Man gimmick. They'll give him Bonesaw.
Oh, God.
I can see him pulling it off. It'll be like TNA's version of the RoboCop storyline. They'll bring in Spider-Man to team up with him. And we'll swiftly move on. So apparently the first match for WrestleMania 33 has been announced.
Oh my God, no.
And
I
think Smoot is loving this.
No, I'm not.
Smoot is loving this match. I am reconsidering whether I can save up enough finances and make my way to Orlando for this one. Apparently, there is going to be a match between The Big Show and Shaquille O'Neal. I think Big Show's on a tour over in Shanghai at the moment, and I think he leaked it a little bit to the press there, or he mentioned it in an interview. I'm not quite sure how it came up, but yeah, it's not official, but it's probably as good as on the table, really. So yeah, any thoughts on this match, guys? Well, I'll ask someone else who the Smoot sounds like he's dying over there. Are you okay, Smoot?
I'm fine, but
Chucks, are you looking forward to this wonderful epic match of
Why
Man
the hell would I
versus
be
Goliath?
looking forward to this?
Why
Why
would
not?
anyone be looking forward to it?
What do you mean? Because Big Show is fine, but I've been watching him for, I don't know, 15, 16 years. And if there's no actual wrestler in the world that I would be excited to see work show, then why Shaq? He's just a big man.
Mm.
He's a really tall man, and that is it.
It's like the the unstoppable object versus the thingamajig.
But neither of them are unstoppable.
You don't know that.
Okay, well, if they manage to build them up like that, if Shaq has a good 6-month run of being unstoppable, and
Shaq could be the next Universal Champion.
I do know Big Show's unstoppable. I've seen him beaten many times.
This is a myth. I've never seen this properly with my own eyes.
Just like he's always built up to win the Royal Rumble and never does.
Just like it's always this. I've never seen Cena lift him up for the AA before.
Oh God!
Can he do it? Can Cena get the big man up?
Oh wow! Go on, Smoot. Rage.
It's not really rage. It's just.
Are you having a stroke?
I'm not.
He's that angry he can't put it into words.
I would be more excited if it was the Big Show versus Shaquille O'Neal doing the Gold Bond shoulder shake. Do you remember that from the commercial? Where Shaq puts on like Gold Bond powder and he does like that weird like shake with his shoulders.
Is that Shaq on the Gold Bond ad?
Yeah.
Oh God, he's creepy as hell.
Wow. So, it's going to be a creepy Shaquille O'Neal versus a Big Show.
If you two haven't seen the Gold Bond ads, oh man, I'm going to see if I can dig one up for you.
I can hardly contain myself.
He is so smug.
I can't wait.
Yeah, here I'll throw it up on the stream in just a sec. Hold on. Boop.
Well,
there you go.
Do you think that this match will actually do anything for WWE though, like in mainstream media wise?
No. It'll get the usual fucking generic montage of like all these news shows and whatnot, just showing the same like highlights from WrestleMania, like oh Shaquille O'Neal was in a wrestling match with the Big Show at WrestleMania. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, they'll get the usual.
How old is he?
I don't
Shaquille
know.
O'Neal.
I do not know.
Yeah, they'll get the usual attention from like Sports Center and stuff, which they're going to get anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not going to give them that much more.
Oh, is that shoulder thing there that you're on about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
Oh, I've seen gifs of that. I've realised what it is now. It all starts to make sense. Yeah, I would like to see some kind of shoulder shaking contest.
If the WrestleMania match was that versus just whoever can do that the best, I would be more on board than an actual wrestling match.
Do you know what I would prefer to see? I would prefer to see Corey Graves somehow manage to, every time that he gets on camera at WrestleMania, he does that shoulder shake. But doesn't reference it, and no one references it. He just manages to sneak it in there all the time.
Oh, God.
That's what I'm hoping for. That's made this match worth it. It'll never happen. Okay, so let's have a look at Raw and SmackDown then. So, Raw, we had the Sasha Banks and Enzo kind of segment at the start. How did this come across to you guys? I was a bit confused why Chris Jericho got involved in all this, but I thought it was quite a funny segment overall. I don't know what everyone else thought on it.
Yeah, it was funny. It just didn't. Seemed a bit weird. Came out of nowhere. But yeah, it was funny.
I do like it. I always get the feeling every time Enzo picks a microphone up that he's, it's all off the cuff. He's just going with it as he wants to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I couldn't read Sasha's expressions. It was like, at first she looked like she was completely creeped out, and then by the end of it she thought, I suppose I better go along with this. Also, as well, Braun Strowman had a squash match where the jobber was nowhere near as classy as last week's.
He was an actual guy.
Yeah, the guy from...
What do you mean he was an actual guy? I think the last one was technically a human being.
Oh, really?
the guy from 2 weeks ago has his own Twitter.
Yeah, what's his name? James Ellsworth?
James Ellsworth, the first guy. No, this guy was what was his name? Something Vanderholt or something kind of Dutch sounding.
Yeah, something like that.
He's in it for the money.
And he was in it for the money. But no, I'm sure he's worked NXT a couple of times, that guy.
I've got to be honest, for $1,000, I'd probably get beat up by Braun Strowman.
I can't believe he was
He took
exposing the
3
business
moves.
like that.
Take 3 moves.
For $1,000, yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'd take it. Plus, there's a good chance he might botch one of them and hurt himself.
I can't believe
Evan,
he was, I can't believe he was
Anderholm, that's it.
I can't believe he was
Corey
exposing
Hollis
the
is
business
NXT.
like that.
Sorry, Smoot?
I said I can't believe he was exposing the business like that, revealing the paychecks.
So yeah, that kind of happened. How long would you book Braun Strowman in squash matches moving forward? Like for the next year?
I don't know that it's going to get any better than this for him.
I know, that's the thing why I think they need to try and drag it out as best as possible.
Yeah.
And Nia Jax too. Just keep doing this.
Thought she was better this week. The first appearance on Raw, she looked really nervous. But thought she was better this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's the one thing as well with the Nia Jax matches. Did you notice the jobber rolled her eyes at her when she come out? It's like, what? I thought the other guys were quite bad with Strowman, but at least they showed fear of who they were facing. This jobber's just like, yeah, I don't care. Look at her.
Not a fan of Ariel Monroe.
No, I don't know her. Is she actually? Has she done anything previous with WWE, or has she been involved in NXT in any way? Or
Not as far as I know, but the name sounds like an actual NXT name.
Yeah, so
Sounds like more of a name than Ember Moon.
Just because of the eye roll and the way she looked like she had a bit of attitude, I thought she does look like she's a bit more like she's been involved in the system rather than just someone that plucked out of nowhere to lose.
Involved in the system.
In the system. Okay.
Just a weird way of putting it. Involved into the system.
In the WWE system, in the world. One of the cogs of the machine.
the universe.
No,
Oh,
the machine. That's the WWE World Heavyweight Machine Championship.
He's not World Heavyweight Champion anymore. He's World Champion.
What? Who is?
Dean Ambrose.
Just WWE Champion, yeah.
No, they called him. He's now known as the WWE World Champion.
Oh, so they've added the word back in.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
But they're taking the heavyweight out. They just don't know what to call that, do they?
I was just gonna say what?
No, it's SmackDown this week. Yeah, they build him as the WWE World Champion.
I guess that's fine, as long as it's not one of those things they have to say "world" every time.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what they were doing.
Yeah,
That's going to be Michael Cole's new thing that you're going to hate. Even though he's not going to be calling him because he's on the other show. Never mind. Sorry. So Braun Strowman had his squash match. Nia Jax killed someone. And then we moved on to Finn Balor and Seth Rollins having their promo on Raw.
Real quick, before that, on the stream here, apparently somebody made a WWE 2K17 cover of James Ellsworth.
That just pops up just as you said it. It's quality.
And also, from what Chuck's just sent me, with a Photoshop edit of him winning the Money in the Bank.
That picture of him winning the Money in the Bank one looks rather bizarre because at first I didn't realise that the armpit was Braun Strowman's fingers. I actually thought he had loads of wrinkles in his neck. But yeah, that cover definitely needs to happen. There should be a petition out there to sign to get that done.
Oh, Beans, last week you said that you were going to tell us on the air that there was an Xbox Live Gold freebie game this month that we would all be excited for.
Oh, I've forgotten.
Was it 2K16?
No, I'm joking, yeah. It is. It's WWE 2K16.
Hey! I've been waiting all week to hear that.
Sorry. Yeah, from the 15th of August, I believe it will be available to download. And I just actually finished a couple of weeks ago the Austin Showcase mode on it, which it's quite good actually. I enjoyed it.
I'm getting absolutely nowhere in the career mode.
I've not really played much of the career mode.
Just keep getting random feuds and like not happened.
Do you lose all your random feuds?
No, I'm putting on 5-star matches with friggin' Big Show.
You sound like Ryback.
Yeah, I was going to say you sound like Ziggler. I go out there every night. I steal the show.
Have you got a soundbite of Dean Ambrose saying, "Will, I just don't think you're as good as you think you are."
No, that's good.
Sorry.
That Ambrose promo was great, by the way.
It was good, actually. Yeah.
It really was.
Like, someone really needed to say that to Ziggler.
Yeah. We'll get to that a little bit more down the line. I've got a list of things here. I don't know.
Oh, we got to stick to the format. Okay.
No. It's just so I know where I'm up to.
Don't want to go off the script.
Well,
Shooting here, brother.
Sticking with the promo theme, what did we reckon to Balor and Rollins on Raw?
Yeah, that was good.
Did anyone feel that Balor was a little bit on the mic?
Yeah, he's not that great.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
Irish.
That was a great impression, that Smoot.
Thank you.
I don't know what... it's one of those things, isn't it, where you're a bit concerned because you know that the microphone's not his strongest point, but you also kind of want them to do it, and so he gets better in the ring on the mic.
He's fine. They just, as long as he doesn't start doing the long promos to open every show, like Rollins does.
No, he's nowhere near.
No, like if he just does a little thing here and there and plays a fairly down-to-earth kind of character, then he'll be all right. But just not too much.
But yeah, it should be a good match. The next bit we had, Rusev beat Mark Henry, who all of a sudden decided that he was, going to have another run and promptly didn't. Who else thought that this segment was perfectly made for Kurt Angle to return?
Yeah, I thought that.
I felt Rusev, when he gave that promo at the end of his match, was the opportunity to have Kurt Angle return.
Yeah.
And him not
in
being
Atlanta
there,
as well.
Yeah, and him not being there was a huge letdown.
It was just like, because obviously I watched it the day afterwards on record, and I hadn't seen anything on, because I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, like, I'd seen, because I have to do Twitter and stuff at work as well, so I always try and leave it as late as possible in the day in case anything major happens and the trending topics have calmed down a bit. But I'm thinking, if Kurt Angle had come back on Raw, he still would have been on the trending list by the time I saw it, and I didn't see anything. So it was like, I'm watching it, and I'm thinking, there's no way that Kurt's going to come out. And then he started cutting the promo, and I'm like, this is really lining up for Kurt Angle to come out of this. I'm thinking, surely it's Kurt Angle. I'm thinking, a little bit of me just started to believe that it was, and then Roman Reigns' music hit, and I didn't think I could hate this guy anymore than I already do.
And now he's going to be the all-American hero. Like, I can see, obviously, there's the idea they need something to try now. Everything they've tried has failed. So now he's going to be the pro-American
It is literally the only slot that they can put him in to try and get people to cheer him again.
Yeah, and it's usually foolproof. But I'm thinking, if you want a guy to be the American hero, maybe don't spend 4 years telling us that he's Samoan.
Yeah.
Yep. Enough said.
Enough said. That was like last week. I'm Samoan. Enough said. Now he's American. And I know he is actually American, but still. He's one generation removed from savages and all that.
Oh, God.
Which, that was Paul Heyman, not me.
I know.
Don't nail me on that one. That wasn't my...
But yeah, the one thing that I wouldn't mind, Dave, if Roman fails against Rusev, he snaps. That would be the one way I'd like it to go, because then he could just he could then cut a promo by saying, I made a mistake, everyone hates me anyway, the pressure got too much. everyone doesn't like me. I came back, I faced Balor, Balor beat me. You know, I was disrespected by him, whatever, and then disrespected by Rusev, yada yada. I went mad, grabbed a chair, smacked Michael Cole in the face, you know.
Oh, that's something they haven't tried. That might actually work.
Actually, yeah, that is probably one of the things on the top of the list, wasn't it? Because even I would probably pop for Roman Reigns smacking Cole in the face. What else could Roman Reigns do to get a face reaction?
Flow Rider. He could beat up Flow Rider.
No.
Bring in Kurt
like
Angle.
remember when Kevin Owens powerbombed the other dude, Machine Gun Kelly?
Yeah, but everyone hates Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh, what, and everyone loves Flow Rider.
Not
I would
everyone.
rather like Flow Rider than Machine Gun Kelly.
Have Roman
prefer
Reigns
neither.
have Roman Reigns bring in Kurt Angle and have Kurt Angle beat up Flo Rida.
No. No, because even if you brought in Kurt Angle, everyone would boo the shit out of him because it would be the same as like The Rock.
Yeah.
Like coming out to like, you know, brush a bit of his face persona onto him for
He
everyone.
would ruin Kurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he could he could totally be like, I found the guy to beat you, Rusev, for the U.S. title, and it's Kurt Angle.
Everyone would just go mental for Kurt and forget about Roman.
I'd just be like, why did Kurt need you to get back in? Surely Kurt just makes a call, or someone calls
WWE.
Kurt.
It doesn't have to make sense, apparently.
I'm still thinking Superman punching Michael Cole is the best way to go.
Yeah, that would work for me.
You could do it as well,
I don't
where
think it would be
Rusev
enough.
beats him, and this could be the thing that makes him snap. And Michael Cole goes in the ring to interview him after the match, and he just fucking clocks him one straight away. Like boom,
Who else would work?
punch. And then Byron Saxon would be stood on the announce table at the top of the stage, going yes.
And then he could spear Saxton off the table as well, and that would
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Or he could just, pull the golden truth aside and say, guys, that's not how you play Pokemon Go.
Oh my god.
You can just stand still. They pop up. You don't have to run through the ring and like wave your arm around. They can't hide under bow ties. You're playing it wrong. And anyone who has played it knows that you're doing it wrong, and they think you're idiots. And anyone who doesn't play it doesn't care what you're doing. So just chill out, all right? Stop.
I think it kind of fit in with the craziness of R-Truth.
That's a great pep talk, Shucks.
Yeah.
Thanks. And if Reigns did that, I would think, what, you're onto something here.
I've just got this image that Roman Reigns would be like really cheesy as hell talking to R-Truth at the back, and as he walks off, he'd call him a tater tot.
Oh god, I forgot all about that.
Yeah. The only way, he just needs to kill the announcers and then stop at Corey Graves and just shake his hand. And walk off. People will probably cheer him then.
God, the Tater Tots promo. How many times did he say it?
I don't know.
Too many.
One is too many.
Also, speaking of bizarre heel turns and things that makes no sense, what the hell is Titus O'Neil doing?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because he just kind of like turned heel on Raw for no reason and just like cheated to beat his mate and then like got in Bob Backlund's face.
Yeah,
It was
they
just-
had it on a pre-show where he was like taking the piss out of Darren Young.
Yeah, but it was always kind of like I'm your best mate kind of banter kind of thing. It never felt like it was
Malicious.
Yeah, and it just kind of went a bit wrong. And I thought it was a strange move.
I think I don't know. I think they're making Titus heel again for whatever reason, and they're splitting up the primetime players without actually having them as a tag team again.
I don't know. Anyway, it was strange. One thing that I did like was the Cesaro segment backstage. I don't know if you picked up on it, but I like the fact that Mick Foley explained why he was picked so low in the draft.
Yeah, that was a great reason.
Yeah.
Like that.
Cesaro himself didn't seem very convinced, though. He
No,
gave
but
a
that's fine.
eye roll.
Yeah, but that's fine because it just gave a realistic scenario where that is perfectly viable for what happened.
Yeah.
And it's just like something so small like that is enough to make everything make sense. And it's like, why don't they think this through? Why don't they do this more?
So many things that they need to do that with, yeah.
Yeah,
and
agree.
it's only needs
Absolutely.
something like that. And everyone will be like, all right, cool,
Okay,
fair enough.
Done. It doesn't even have to be a good explanation as long as they do something.
Yeah.
Like, I felt Foley's explanation for the low draft pick for Cesaro was good enough to where something similar should have been deserved for Jericho coming out and interrupting Charlotte and Sasha. You know? Because that, like, I got a lot of flack for this, but, like, it didn't make sense to me why he would come out, other than, he wanted quiet and the two ladies were interrupting his nap time. I suppose.
Well, no, see, now that's an explanation. If they said that, if they just said, no, I'm trying to just relax backstage, I've got a match coming up or something, and
yeah.
Your voice is, God, shut up, quiet. That would be something. But instead, he just showed up, and you're right, there was no need for it.
Yeah.
It was a very strange segment, but yeah, take it for what it is.
It's a shame that Teddy Long isn't the GM, because that would have been one of his specials. Hey, we've got 4 people in the ring. Holla, holla.
What other segments do we have? Oh, also, we had the wonderful return of Jinder Mahal.
Speaking of Jinder Mahal, speaking of Heath Slater, they explained that on SmackDown. Because I was thinking, you've got all the security around for Brock Lesnar. Heath Slater's inevitably going to show up. How are they going to explain that? And he said, oh, the security were busy chasing down Brock Lesnar, so I just walked into your office. Great. Stupid explanation, but made sense.
I have to admit, I also did find it quite funny when Daniel Bryan was on the phone after he got gored and just said that he needed a medic coming in the room. And he's like, yeah, as soon as possible. Like, it's just, I don't know why it tickled me. It just did. I thought it was a nice recovery after the Apollo Creed comment.
Oh, God. Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't see SmackDown. I was busy. I was on assignment this past week. And,
he got off to a rocky start.
Yeah, I heard the faux pas of Apollo Creed.
I can't believe you just used that point. What else did we have on Raw? We had Seth versus Sami Zayn, which I get it's a great match, and it was, but you put Sami in a position that doesn't help. It's like he's just had a big win over Kevin Owens, and then he's got to lose to Seth, and it's like, And it's like, I understand that it's competition and it's okay to lose kind of thing, but I just thought, is it right? Do you have to do it now? He's supposed to be on this big roll kind of thing. He does a good promo saying he's got nothing to lose. Well, you kind of did. So, yeah, I was just a bit gutted, really, because it was kind of like, I weren't sure where they were going to go with it. To be honest, you could have had Sami Zayn win that and it wouldn't have hurt Rollins in some ways, but...
Well, I know you can't really have Zayn win, but you're right. You shouldn't have him lose either.
I mean, it could have been the trap distraction roll-up kind of thing, and no one would have cared. But it's,
Off that win against Owens, I figured he's got to go for the mid-card title now. Surely he goes up against Rusev next. And I guess that would, if we just swapped roles, that would leave Reigns against Rollins again, which actually is a match that Rollins could win reasonably. I think maybe if you just switch roles, they're protecting the wrong guy. One guy who's on a bit of a roll, has some momentum, could be something. Another guy cooling off. Switch him up.
Yeah, true. And then we had the main segment, which was Brock Lesnar coming back on Raw. And Paul Heyman giving the very obvious promo saying that Randy Orton is never going to be able to hit the RKO out of nowhere, and promptly he turned up and delivered one. So yeah, that was Raw really. What was your overall thoughts, guys, compared with last week's Wonder Show?
I thought it was good. Wasn't quite up there with last week's, but it was still pretty good.
Yeah. Right, you, Smoot?
I'll just go with that.
Really? Wow. Chucks, how did you find it overall?
Yeah, I'm in the middle of these guys. I thought it was not
You're in the
great.
middle of,
in the middle of, and, yeah, pretty good. I thought it was fine. Better than, I think both shows are much better since the draft.
Mm.
Overall, it's a better show now.
Yeah.
But it still wasn't a great show.
I think it went the other way this week. I think that the SmackDown this week was a lot stronger than Raw this week.
Yeah, I'd agree.
So I think they kind of tied this since the draft. I think they're quite tied because I think this week's Raw, it was still a good show. Obviously it weren't going to meet the heights of the first show, which was quite a good one. So yeah, then we got SmackDown. So yeah, the opening segment was Daniel Bryan backstage talking to The Miz, where he stated that there was going to be a triple threat for the number one contendership, and when he mentioned Apollo Crews' name for it, he actually called him Apollo Creed. And then we had the wonderful promo between Ziggler and Dean Ambrose. And I don't know how you guys took it, but it was more kind of a relief when I was watching this, just to hear Ziggler saying the things that he was saying. Because just even from the kind of like the passion side of it, I was thinking this is exactly what they need to do with him if they're going to go down this direction with him. I don't know if anyone else thought that.
I mean, I would be more inclined on getting behind Ziggler if he actually wins the title from Ambrose.
Well, that's kind of what Ambrose is saying.
Yeah.
Stop bitching and start winning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're worried about all of the wrong things, and it's true. That's been Ziggler's thing for years and years and years. Every few months he'll do a .com promo about how he's the best, but never seems to get any breaks. And then he'll be in like Royal Rumbles and stuff. He'll have number one contenders matches, Money in the Banks and whatever, and never wins. And he still complains that he's not getting what exactly? Like, what are you complaining about?
It's the kayfabe thing, isn't it? He's basically calling the company because they're not giving him the chance to do that.
But they are, because they're putting him in Money in the Bank and all sorts of different things. He does get chances. He just doesn't win them.
But they're saying that the company isn't making him champion.
So so what's going to change then? He's going to bitch and they're suddenly going to book him to win?
Yeah, because people will get behind him, kind of like how CM Punk bitched, and then, like, you know.
But when Punk did it, it was... he did it in a much more subtle way. He said that Cena isn't the best.
Yeah.
And that he was all, marketing and stuff, which is... You can take that in two ways. You can say he is the best in the ring, best on the mic and all that. And that still works. You can't say... I'm the best, but I'm not being booked to win.
Well, that is effectively what he's saying.
He shouldn't be, because that's a stupid thing to say.
Yeah, but that's the crowd he's playing to, isn't it? His Twitter handle is Heel Ziggler. When was the last time he was heel?
That's true.
And he's always playing... He is basically trying to be that internet fanboy guy.
But then that's basically what Ambrose is saying. Like, you can complain all you want, but in the end it comes down to winning, which makes a storyline of the whole thing, and one that actually works.
It works as long as Ziggler wins.
Or doesn't. Maybe he doesn't win, and then he has the realization that, yeah, maybe I am focused on all the wrong things here. Maybe I need to have a little look at myself.
I mean, there's two ways I see it going. I see that they've finally gave Ziggler kind of have them through a briefcase, and he actually just has a match, wins it, and then that's great. Or, like you said, he loses it, and then he could just snap. You know, they could make him turn heel from it and give him a little bit more.
He would do well to turn heel, I think. That SmackDown side with Cena and Orton and Ambrose. I think they need heels. They've got, Bray Wyatt. That's about it.
Really quickly, I want to play...
Styles.
Yeah, Styles. I want to play a little bit of something from the SmackDown post-show this past Tuesday. Talking Smack with
Oh, yeah.
Renee Young and Daniel Bryan. Here we go.
Why does AJ Styles hate John Cena so much?
I think it's just, and this is for everybody. Everybody wants to prove that they're better than John Cena because John Cena has been the standard. He's the guy who set the standard. And it was an interesting thing, the way that AJ tried to provoke John and talking about, and John talks about his love. I was actually kind of taken aback and borderline offended.
By what?
By John Cena saying, like, hey, if this doesn't work out for you, you'll go somewhere else to wrestle. And he would say, I only want to wrestle in WWE.
So why does that offend you?
Well, it offends me because, hey, guess what? I've been fired from WWE twice, right? And sometimes when you get fired, you have to go wrestle somewhere else. John's saying essentially, if he were to get fired, he wouldn't go wrestle anywhere else because he only loves wrestling in WWE. AJ and I are kind of cut from the same cloth in the sense of like, hey, he had to fight for a long time just to get the opportunity to be here. Like, if he gets fired, he has a family to provide for. So are you saying don't go work somewhere else, go work in a garage or something? No, this is what we do. This is what we love to do. It's
Bring up great points.
Yeah, and so it's one of those things where I get what John's saying. He loves WWE, and I don't take anything away from him because other people in his situation, people like The Rock, stuff like that, when they get these big time gigs like John Cena has,
he's a busy man these days.
It's easy to say, I'm going to take a step back from wrestling. Like the Rock is great. He still loves WWE, but he comes in once every great while. John doesn't need the money. He's got all these movies, all these different awards shows want him. Everybody want him, but he still shows up every week. Like, to me, it's incredible, his love and his passion for this. But that doesn't mean that you should knock things like AJ about, if you lose this, you'll go somewhere else. Well, yeah, of course he will.
Well, looking at...
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't argue it. They're all valid points if you're going to argue the conversation that AJ and Cena had on SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't think he says it like very clearly there, but his point,
holds up.
It's right. It is a bit. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me to criticize someone for wanting to work somewhere else. If they love wrestling, then that's the right thing to do. You can't say that working anywhere else is, I'm too good to work anywhere else. It is a bit insulting, really.
Yeah, I think that it was almost like Cena's insinuation is that AJ's just kind of gone when things haven't worked out everywhere he's gone. He's just moved on and he's never tried to work through whatever. He hasn't been committed to the cause of wherever he's at that time or something. That's how it could be seen, I think.
Yeah.
But then that's not even close to being true.
I know, but
Styles has been great
man.
everywhere he's gone, and everywhere has been sad to lose him.
Yeah, but he's the heel, isn't he? So he's just trying to, it's a bit muddled, really.
Yeah, I think it's just like pro WWE kind of propaganda style.
I thought it was like a decent takeaway that they're adding like real elements to the Cena AJ feud here. It kind of gives it.
There was another another little slip up from Daniel Bryan on Talking Smack, where he was talking about the Lesnar Orton thing, about the RKO, and decided to promote the hashtag out of anywhere.
Instead of out of nowhere, yeah.
Wow. Okay. But yeah, I mean, if you're thinking like the conversations like that Brian had, and also like the comments from Mick Foley going on about the shoulder injury and stuff, I like stuff like that just because it feels like they're bringing more natural kind of elements into the storylines, I suppose. Which this is the thing. Like, how long have we been told that this is supposed to be the reality era, and it's
Yeah.
been so far removed from it?
Yeah.
It's
and,
like,
and Beans, it goes back to what you said earlier with the simple reasoning of just of why they're feuding. Like it goes back to Foley and Cesaro with the low draft pick scenario. Brian just gave an excellent point as to why AJ Styles doesn't like John Cena.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like more views.
Yeah.
Things that don't... for so long, I felt everything they've written has been so sterile. There's one direction for things. There's a good guy and a bad guy, and that's kind of just it. Whereas now there's someone thinks something else. A GM maybe has a view on it, and he drafted Cesaro late. Cesaro's not happy about it, but it kind of makes sense. There's a shade of grey there. It seems like a little less sterile to me.
Yeah. And also, as well, it's like, when you think, that also was instigated by Renee asking that question. And that isn't the usual, please welcome my guest at this time. Do you know what I mean? There's a different way of that. I mean, that whole Talking Smack thing, they've used it throughout SmackDown as well, which is quite nice. And it's not it makes sense to have the positioning that people do where they're facing a camera instead of facing each other. It makes a little bit more sense when you've got a desk to sit at and you're on like a talk show environment that you actually do sit like that position.
Oh, yeah.
At least it can, you know what I mean? It just kind of covers that scenario, why they're in that situation. So I do like the way that it's going that way, and I hope that there is more of it to come, really. But yeah, it's all good. What else do we have? Obviously, we had the Bray Wyatt thing with Ziggler, which was quite interesting because obviously they're trying to bring Ziggler into the play where he's, he put his attempt to his title match on the line. If Bray won, he'd have took the spot. They tried to protect Wyatt, I think, a little bit with the turnbuckle thing, where that was the reason that cost him the match. I don't know. I'm a bit concerned because Wyatt's being used to enhance other people again.
And also during that match, there was like a slight scare for Bray there, where I think Ziggler was going for a roll up and like his legs buckled or something, or it was like a back spasm.
He twisted his ankle.
Yeah,
I think he sprained his ankle,
which
is worrying because was it his ankle he hurt at WrestleMania a couple of years ago?
Well, no, it was his. Was it not his ankle just after WrestleMania this year? Where
possibly there was one
when it was in Ireland.
There was a scare for the Taker match as well. Well, he's had leg issues anyway. It was a bit of a concern, but he seems okay.
His ankle kind of buckled under him as he went over, didn't he? And he you could see that he twinged it a bit as he rolled over, but yeah. But yeah, I weren't sure. I mean, it's like I say, they're going in with the Ziggler storyline. He beat Bray Wyatt. He beat him clean, effectively, even though it involved the use of the turnbuckle.
See, I thought maybe that was a slight heel trait, that he was willing to use the turnbuckle.
Well, yeah, I mean, and also as well, he said "screw you" to Shane backstage, kind of thing as well. So, there's elements there of a heel turn coming in if they want to go that way. But also it can be seen as just determination in his character because he obviously needs to win. So, yeah, Smooch just playing there's a footage on the stream at the moment of Bray Wyatt clipping his ankle.
Yeah, see his left ankle, he's favouring the left ankle there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I say, if they're going to go all in with Ziggler, I'm happy for them to go all the way with it. I just hope that it doesn't turn into Ziggler losing at SummerSlam and then he tries to do the terrible Cena thing of coming out saying, well, I lost, but I stole the show and yada, 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 and we're back to square one. Because I think if that happens, then you really have kind of destroyed Ziggler beyond repair. Because I think this is last chance for doing something pretty big with him, to be honest. The way they're building it at the moment, anyway. And I think that pretty much covers the main things, really. There was a couple of other things on SmackDown, but they're not major talking points.
Even Marie's hurt her leg.
Yeah.
The hamstring or something.
I didn't see that. Was that like legit or an actual like storyline sort of thing?
No, that was a storyline. She had her amazing entrance, got into the ring, hopped down from the turnbuckle, and then really unconvincingly just kind of went, oh man, there's something.
Owies.
Oh, there's something going on with my leg here. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know if I can carry on. It's like really, really weak selling.
Also, apparently, Randy Orton had a wellness strike removed from his record because of
shocker.
Because of drug rehab, which I think it's if that's true, I think it's a convenient plot element for him to suddenly talk shit about Lesnar getting nabbed by the UFC and all that.
Yeah.
Quite possibly. Also, as well, one thing that annoyed me a little bit was Lesnar on SmackDown.
Again, I didn't see it, unfortunately. But
they had all the security to try and protect Randy Orton, and he's having his match. And you hear the crowd react, so you know that Lesnar's obviously coming somewhere. And then he's just stood at the side of the ringside area on the other side of the barrier, just looking at everyone. And has a little bit of a smirk, manages to get over and get in the ring and just give him an F5 and then goes. And it's like, but I didn't see any intensity in it. I was like thinking, the way that this works is if you've pissed off Lesnar. And, Orton gave him the RKO on Raw, so you kind of given him a reason to get pissed off. And he just came in smiling, gave him an F5 smiling and left smiling. And I'm like...
it's been a bit soft this year, hasn't he? Because Wyatt took him out of the Rumble, and that was kind of the end of that.
I just thinking I want to see him the Taylor Swift edit where he's screaming in the middle of it. I want to see him get angry like that, You want
to see him tell Randy Orton, "Let's do this."
Oh God.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Really do. So yeah, I mean there was that.
Also, that whole thing, just I hit my finisher, you hit your finish.
Yeah.
Just weak.
Yeah. That's what I mean. If there was a bit of intensity in it, you'd be a bit more like, yeah. But it just feels like it's going through the motions, and
even if Orton had countered the F5 and maybe hit another RKO, that would be something. Like someone finally getting the better of Lesnar. That's a story. Not just like 50-50.
Yeah. True. Thinking it out, that would be quite cool, actually. And you kind of, if Lesnar kind of lost it a little bit then and managed to get hold of him in a parking lot or something in the future, that would be a little bit more heel tactics from Lesnar, which might fall in more with the recent UFC news, but I don't know. So yeah, I think we've covered the main points there, guys. I don't know if there's anything else that we want to mention.
It didn't take long for the rules of the draft split to get thrown out the window.
No, unfortunately. I heard rumours as well that Daniel Bryan might be on Raw this week.
Yeah, Mick Foley's invited him to Raw.
Because of the cruiserweights,
so they're gonna
right?
Because of the what?
Cruiserweights.
I doubt it.
I thought, okay, maybe.
Are they already doing the cruiserweight division?
Yeah, I thought that the Raw cruiserweight division was going to be a thing, and that's why he invited him there.
Oh, I thought that was going to wait till after the cruiserweight thing.
The thing on WWE.com seems to think it's going to be something to do with the Orton Lesnar situation.
Yeah, I thought
okay.
We need to discuss this as general managers and find a way for us to coexist and make sure that this doesn't happen again. And oh my God, they're killing each other.
Yeah.
Do we see Randy Orton giving Daniel Bryan an RKO and Mick Foley getting an F5 at the end of this?
Maybe.
Is Daniel Bryan allowed to take an RKO?
Probably not. No.
Oh well.
So yeah, you might be right, Spring, but your prediction of the brand split not lasting very long.
No.
Just hasn't.
I don't know, if there's...
But this was like we were saying, though, isn't it? It's like you go into the brand split, and straight away, then you're doing a show where you're gonna have talent from both ends facing each other, like a WrestleMania would. And that's when you normally get them having surprise appearances, and it doesn't have the same impact when the bloody draft's a week old.
That's what I mean. I thought they'd wait a little bit longer to do stuff like that, not a week.
But it is SummerSlam. There is a cross-brand thing coming up with a cross-brand match on it, so that, kind of forgive it a little bit. I don't like it either, I know what you mean. But
I'm hoping that it's not going to happen more, but then when you hear that Bryan's going to be on Raw, it's like, oh, come on.
But then it's all about this one feud.
Well, I mean...
So it's not like, Fandango's going over to Raw or anything. It's like, it does make sense for this thing.
Well, I'll put it this way, then. Orton and Lesnar themselves haven't really done much to get me involved in this rivalry, but if you're going to have Paul Heyman, Mick Foley, and Daniel Bryan on microphones dealing with the storyline on TV, then surely something good's got to come from it.
True.
Yeah, you think?
So I'll go with that positive mindset. I'm probably sorely disappointed. So yeah, anything else, guys?
No, that's it for me.
Not from TNA this week.
There's some.
Are they still in business?
They're still in business. They believe it or not.
Oh, that ruined that game.
That was a short version.
Yeah, that's the short version. See here. Throw it up.
Apparently EC3's contract is coming up soon.
Yep. Is TNA Wrestling still in business? Yes. Yes, it is.
He didn't even get a drum roll. He even sped that up. I mean...
Yeah. Short on time, so. Is that right? His contract
Bischoff is apparently suing TNA.
Oh yeah, Eric Bischoff. Yeah, apparently he's suing them.
For what?
Because they exist.
Yeah.
No, I didn't actually see the story myself, but I heard that he's suing them. So.
Yeah, he didn't go into detail. He was in some interview and.
I'd laugh if some lawyer just showed up and just gave him the keys to the warehouse and just said, do what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he said he got asked about his time at TNA and he said he couldn't talk much because he's in the middle of a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Any positive memories from his time in TNA? I don't have any, he said.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So yeah, we'll be back next week to check on the status of TNA.
And
hopefully in a bit more glorious fashion than that.
Apparently.
Say again, sorry?
And if EC3 still has a contract.
Well, he can show up in NXT if he wants.
Oh my god.
He's been there before.
Yeah, that place would blow up, I feel.
That'd be quite cool.
If he showed up, yeah.
So yeah, we'll leave it there. See what happens next week. If you want to follow the show, you can do on Twitter at the IWC Radio. If you're going to send in any questions for the show, use the hashtag IWC Radio. I was also lucky enough to be a guest on AWR's podcast yesterday, which if you want details, you can find that out on my Twitter at Beans on Toast UK.
You moderating all the podcasts?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm spreading the word, people. I'm spreading the word. I'm spreading the love. I'm spreading something. I'm going to leave it there. So I don't know who's got any soundbite to go out on, but I'm going to throw it over to him. Spreading it.
Well, unfortunately, I'm still behind on everything, as you can tell. But next week, I think the closing sound effect will probably be Josh Matthews comparing Grado to the American Dream Dusty Rhodes. So there's a hook for you. Until then, see you next week.